Since the leaves are going to start changing soon as we're going into fall, yesterday CNN decided to have a special town hall event with the Democrat candidates for president to talk about the weather. As you know, I watch CNN so that you don't have to, but no mortal could have possibly made it through this entire show because it was 7 hours long. It was the ultimate improv theater, with the candidates one after the other imagining how they would save the world from the weather. They also took a lot of questions from the audience, from people like this.
Good evening, Mr. Castro. Thank you for your campaign. Is it fair for us to expect our children to continue the cycle of family and generation in a world whose chaotic climate future we knowingly create and so far have done little to address?
Well,
I'll take this one, Joaquin. Sir, for you and all other liberals, it's a fantastic idea to not have any children. But not because of global warming, but because there's already enough morons walking on the face of the earth. So you don't need to be adding to that gene pool. Kamala Harris was asked by this person, if she becomes president, would she please use the government to stop us from eating our hamburgers?
So let's go straight to an audience question now. Carolyn Corson is a lawyer from New York, Senator. She has a question about the impact of certain foods on the environment. Just to give some context here, the United Nations says that livestock cattle, contribute 14.5% of all human-produced greenhouse gases, which is an incredible number. Caroline, go ahead with your question.
Will you be supporting change in dietary guidelines? And then how will you plan on implementing the changes so that people effectively change their diets?
Yeah, I mean, and thank you, Carol, for your work and the question. So the answer is yes. But I'll also say this, the balance that we have to strike here, frankly, is about what government can and should do around creating incentives and then banning certain behaviors. But there has to be also what we do in terms of creating incentives that we will eat in a healthy way, that we will encourage moderation, and that we will be educated about the effect of our eating habits on our environment. And we have to do a much better job of that, and the government has to do a much better job of that.
I told you just the other day that the Democrats would soon start calling for a special tax on our burgers and steaks, not to fund Obamacare, but as a carbon tax because of the cow farts.
But would you support changing the dietary guidelines?
Yes.
The food pyramid, what people
yes.
to reduce red meat specifically?
Yes, I would. And I'll tell you, I've actually worked on this issue in the past. And it's about, it is about consumer awareness also. And again, maybe this comes from my years of doing the work I did as Attorney General, which is I strongly believe that the American consumer is still left without the information that you need and deserve to have about what it is that you are putting in your body or surrounding yourself with and the health implications of those things.
That's right, Kamala. People just don't know that if you eat hamburgers, French fries, and ice cream every day, that you won't be very healthy. This cat lady asked Bernie Sanders if he would be courageous enough to support reducing the population in order to save the planet.
Empowering women and educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact. Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. And the answer has everything to do with the fact that
it has everything to do with the fact that you support the mandates of the Georgia Guidestones, which commands that we reduce the world's population to 500 million people, about a 95% reduction from its current level. That way, the elite can use the transhumanist technology to become immortal cyborgs without us useless eaters getting in the way and using up the Earth's natural resources. Speaking of useless, Joaquin Castro was at the town hall event because, for some strange reason, he hasn't dropped out of the presidential race yet, and I did not doctor this video in any way by slowing it down or looping it whatsoever. This is what really happened.
Good evening. Do you see any point in your career in public service where you wish that you had taken more forceful action to protect the quality of our air, water, and soil? And what would you do differently if you face a similar point today?
I think that
I think that it's about time that you drop out of the race, sir, and go run for your local city council or something that you're actually qualified for. As usual, Joe Biden lost his train of thought halfway through one of his answers and proved once again that he should be out fishing or restoring a 57 Chevy instead of running for president.
You know, be in a position where when we build back, we don't build back to normal, we build back to what is necessary. And so there's a whole range of things that are going on now in terms of, anyway, I'm taking too long. Sorry.
What's taking too long is this whole show. I wasn't kidding. It went on for literally 7 hours.
Tonight, the top 10 Democratic presidential candidates will be here on this stage in New York City, appearing one by one for the next 7 hours. This unprecedented town hall is dedicated to the climate crisis, an issue many voters say needs aggressive action.
You know, I really did my best to recycle and not litter and take care of the environment, but watching this show was enough to almost make me start supporting pollution. I mean, what's next? Is MSNBC going to try to outdo CNN's 7-hour-long marathon of madness with a 2-day event? Oh, wait, what's this? Chris Hayes and Ollie Velshi will moderate Climate Forum 2020, a 2-day event featuring the 2020 presidential candidates starting in 2 weeks. Somebody should tell these people that there's already a channel that talks about the weather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's called the Weather Channel. In California, they've already banned plastic straws, certain kinds of light bulbs, and now they're coming for our cheeseburgers.
Some of it is with light bulbs, some of it is on straws, some of it, dang, is on cheeseburgers, right?
I gotta be having a nightmare because this can't be happening to me. If there's anybody out there watching this, subscribe to my channel if you're new here and get your I Love Global Warming shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Like all of my shirts, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.